Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Teasing the NFL, your destination for NFL teaser bets. I'm Daniel Saludo along with Andrew Chang here. We are taking you through the last early afternoon game for Week 16 of the 2020 NFL season on Sunday. This is the matchup between the Atlanta Falcons going to the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. KC is the big favorite here, minus 10.5, and your total is 53.5. So Atlanta gets teased up to plus 16.5. KC gets teased down to minus 4.5. Your over gets teased down to 47, and your under gets teased up to 59. All right, so this is, I'm considering this a very intriguing matchup, and we both had to wait a few minutes to really think about this because we don't like the line, we don't like the spread, we don't like the total, we don't like the teaser. So, you know, as a lot of sharps would normally tell you, if you don't like it, don't bet it. That's fine. But we have to make a choice in this, and we have to help you possibly make a decision if you are thinking about teasing this. So what do you think in terms of how, what would you be your best advice, or what is your big lean?
You know what? So we just covered the Ravens going against the Giants.
Yes.
And I think the line was just about the same.
Yes.
It was a little easier in that sense because we know that New York kind of lacks the firepower to score.
Yes.
However, Atlanta is not. They're a little more. They're inconsistent, but when they're on, they're on. It's kind of hard to stop. You know, Julio Jones, I think is he still out?
He's out.
He's still out, but Calvin Ridley, still a solid wide receiver, even if they double him. Both Danny and I know, as hard as it is, we were very high on, well, Danny was very high on the KC defense last year. It's not the same defense this year, for sure. A little more leaky, per se.
Correct.
So I think the safer choice that I think in this game would be is the over at 47.5.
Okay.
Now,
yeah, I understand. Yep.
I know it's a little crazy because usually when it's like right at 40 and we're like feeling good, we're hitting, it's like, oh yeah, that's awesome. And now we're dealing with 47.5. That's almost like 7 touchdowns, just about.
It is 7 touchdowns.
Yeah. So literally these guys have to like go for it. They got to gun it. And in KC's position, they have to win. Like there should be no holds barred, nothing pulled back.
Yeah, a win for KC guarantees them to buy the #1 seed.
That is correct, and no one can catch up to that. So they just need to win this, and then they could just do whatever they want. Next game, they could just, play Mahomes for one half and let, is Moore still the backup?
Yeah, Moore's the backup.
Yeah, and let Moore, run amok, So you just don't know, and that will make betting a little more tough next week.
Yeah,
but we're still on this week.
Yep.
So I feel like that's the safer play in my opinion. Now, do I think taking KC minus 4.5 is a bad play? I don't think that's a bad play either. It's just I think that Atlanta will keep it close. So
okay. Wait, what do you define as close? You're talking like field goal close? We're talking about 1 touchdown close?
I'm thinking about 1 touchdown close.
Okay.
Because both these teams are going to score back and forth. I feel like
I might disagree with you on that just a little bit, and I'll explain that when I go into my analysis.
But the Chiefs are notoriously slow starters.
With the exception of the Tampa Bay game, yes.
Okay, with the exception of Tampa Bay, I mean, but that's against Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I think Patrick Mahomes always pulls out his best when he's playing the GOAT. So yeah, I just, 16.5 plus 16.5 for the Falcons. 2
touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions.
That's I would think about it, and the reason why I'm not really going to dive into that and just stick with the over, even though that might be a little more riskier, is that KC is KC. You just don't know. You know they're going to win. You just don't know how much they're going to win by.
Right. Yeah.
So
Agree.
that's my reasoning. So let me have it, Danny. What's up?
All right. So this is a tough one because there are many different angles you can look at this, and all of them contradict how this game could play. So first of all, Atlanta, I kind of agree with you that they can put up points. The problem is they don't always show that they can put up points. They put up a ton of field goals. That's one of the problems I have in this. But the Atlanta Falcons, they'll be like, yeah, man, we're good inside we're good in between the 20s, but once we get to the red zone area, we have
struggles.
We have a hard
we
time
get
getting into the
stonewalled by
end zone.
anybody and everybody.
It's ridiculous. On the other side, KC has not been good at covering the spread. Now, they have covered most of their teaser spreads, which is good, but it's worrying that they can't cover a general spread, which means either Vegas overvalues them or basically KC is underplaying themselves, and that's what's hard to predict. So you've got two opposing things on the spread on its own. If you go to the totals, I might agree with you with the over, but if Atlanta just throws up nothing but field goals, that's an under. But if Atlanta is the firepower team that we know that they are, then they'll kill the over. Then they'll kill the under because KC will be able to keep up with them. So you've got so much contradiction of previous information, previous games, and the analysis is really hard on this. There's a part of me that really thinks that I should take Atlanta plus 16.5 because Atlanta can probably keep the game within 10 points.
Okay.
There's a part of me that feels like that's correct, but at the same time, I could easily see Atlanta being insanely flat and then KC just killing them by 20-something points. It's so hard for me to figure this out. So
that kind of makes me question my over. I mean, I feel the Atlanta that we're going to see, they had a pretty good showing against Tampa Bay last week.
They did. They put a lot of it into there, and so they're maybe kind of a low spot for me. They were up on kind of a decent high when they played New Orleans. They put everything into that, and then they played Tampa Bay. But that's Tampa Bay. They start very slow, and once again, the Falcons lose a lead to Tom Brady
in Super Bowl fashion.
Yeah, Super Bowl type
against
fashion.
Tom Brady.
All right, so I am going to take.
Are you going to
I'm going to take KC. I
was about to say,
I have to. I think KC is going to win this game by about 10 to 13 points. So I got to take KC and tease them down to this. Yes, that also falls into Atlanta, but you run the risk of Atlanta just coming out really flat and KC just kind of not blowing them out through the game, but just accumulating points and points and points and points. And if Atlanta can't keep up with the firepower and their touchdowns turn into field goals, that is going to be able to give me KC, a touchdown. I'm safe with a touchdown win, but I think they're going to win this by about 10 to 13 points.
Man.
Power rate, yeah.
I think, oh my gosh, am I really going to change? You know what? Oh,
you want to change it? It's up to you, man.
47.5, man.
It's 7 touchdowns.
I honestly think, oh God, you're right. But do you really see KC defense holding the Falcons?
I will admit KC's defense is a touch better than they were, like
it's
mid to early in the season.
I
mean, it's still suspect, and it's kind of the same defense with the exception of 1 or 2 injuries that they've had on and off. So, I mean, at some point, you wonder if they figured it, if they can get it together, because it was around week 14 when they started to really figure it out. They haven't gotten to that point yet, so that's what makes me worry about it. But Atlanta, Atlanta puts up too many field goals for me to worry about getting to an over. So, I mean, Koo is the #1 kicker in fantasy, and I think he's got the most. I think he's got the most field goals in the league made. So, it's. I know it's tough, but I think I'm gonna run to a little bit of a safer play because I think I think the line is about right. 10 points is about right. And so if I think that's where it's going to end up and I deem KC to win the game, then I'm going to take it down and, I get it over the 10. I get it past the 10. I get it past the 7. I get it past the 6. So I'll take that.
And for me, I'm just going to hope that KC puts up 2 touchdowns in 1 quarter and the Falcons put up 2 field goals in 1 quarter. That's 20 points a quarter. And if that's 4 quarters, then I'm A-okay.
Okay.
I like my math there, but 47.5, you're making me think about it.
You need basically 12 points a quarter.
I think that's pretty doable.
It can be. I mean, if you get
but that's really close.
2 touchdowns per quarter. You're basically looking for 2 touchdowns per quarter, basically.
And that's
tough when it's Atlanta.
Yeah, but oh God.
Yeah, and Atlanta doesn't have Julio Jones. I mean, that makes life a lot more difficult. That leaves them.
Oh my
That leaves
gosh.
them with only Calvin Ridley, Russell Gage, Hayden Hurst. Todd Gurley will probably not get most of the touches in this game. It will most likely be Ito Smith, and then Gurley and Brian Hill behind him. So.
You know what? I'm gonna make the amendment. I'm jumping ship.
KC minus 4.5.
You know, I don't think this will show up in my card, but yeah,
It's not. It's too much.
It's just like that Baltimore game. There's just like a
Baltimore's a little easier to
because it was the
figure.
Giants.
Yeah, the Giants. And Atlanta's such a wild card because Atlanta can keep games close, but Atlanta, can also
Be flat.
be flat. Don't be surprised if you see Atlanta take the lead in the first half and then drop the ball again. Don't be surprised if you see that.
Oh, God, and if that happens, then for sure the
Over will hit.
Yeah, God, see, it's just.
Yeah, it's tough.
Oh, hold on, my Jackie Chan meme. What am I gonna bet? You know what? I'm sticking to it. Over 47.
All right, okay, cool.
Over 47.5. Yeah, I like that.
there
I think Atlanta might come out to play. And KC I know is going to play for sure, so I'll be ready.
All right, there you go. I am going to take KC minus 4.5. Not the best value, but I've analyzed this game a little bit differently, and I expect them to win by double digits, so I'll take a lower win in this. Andrew thinks that we're going to have a little more offense, which is very possible in this, taking that over 47.5, 7 touchdowns. There, I got it right. Nine touchdowns is 63.
Do the Mahomes count, baby.
7 touchdowns is what he's looking for in this game to get it over 47.5. So let us know in the comments how you think this game's going to go. Leave us a prediction, actually, of what you think the final scoreline is going to be. I want to see if there's any high totals or low totals. I'm curious to see what everybody says.
Oh, God, please.
Of course. But if you like the content you got in this video, give it a thumbs up, give it a like, subscribe, tick the notification bell, and select all. That way you stay up to date with all of our latest videos and previews for the rest of the season. Again, we'd like to thank you for joining us in this preview video. We have the late afternoon games along with the 2 primetime games coming up, so stay tuned for all that. But for Andrew Chang, I'm Daniel Saludo. Hope everybody had a joyful and Merry Christmas out there with the rest of your family and friends, and we'll see you in the next video. But until next time, make sure you get your bets in, and of course, don't forget to be a tease.